Yay, hello and welcome everyone. High impact practices, attributes for internships. Today there are actually 4 presenters. So I'm Dr. Artemis Crucial, and our next presenter will be Dr. Holly Porter, and she'll be zooming in from Denver. And then we have Dr. Amy Johnson, and those 2 are both HIP team leaders in internships. And then we have Ms. Shirley Atencio from our career services, and she'll tell us how it works. All right, here we go. So according to the AAC&U, there are 8 attributes that make a HIP a HIP. So we have performance expectations set at appropriately high levels, significant investment of time and effort over an extended period of time, interactions with faculty and peers about substantive matters, experiences with diversity where students are exposed to and must contend with people from diverse backgrounds and unfamiliar situations, frequent, timely, and constructive feedback, and periodic structured opportunities for reflection and integration of learning, and opportunities to have relevant learning through real-world applications, which is primarily through internships. And then we also have public demonstration of competence. That's not something that's a requirement in the internship area. However, sociology provides a very good model for that. Okay, so internships allow us to apply theory to practice through gaining experience and skills in a professional setting and connecting students to the profession that as they consider a future career path, giving employers the opportunity to guide and evaluate talent, and faculty and site supervisors provide regular feedback upon which students reflect. And then students need to complete at least 25 hours at the internship site to earn 1 credit hour, the maximum of 6 credit hours. And reflection reports do not count as part of the internship hours. Then if you want to know more about this, the undergraduate academic policies on internships is a great resource. So provide work experience, usually related to career interests, and giving supervision, coaching from professional in the field are 2 characteristics of internships. And students analyze and solve real-world problems in professional settings. Now, internships are usually individual. However, there is a team internship that occurs on campus. Occurred last semester and occurred this semester. I don't know that it'll happen going forward, but internships are a great opportunity for students to gain real-world skills. Now, paid internships, according to the American Association of Colleges and Universities, are more valuable than unpaid internships. Work study is not usually considered an internship. However, work study can provide reasonable accommodations for those students who may not be able to commute off campus. And I now turn it over to Holly Porter, and she will zoom in from Denver. Hello, Holly.
Hi, how's everyone doing today?
Great,
I can't see anyone except for Jared and Artemis. So I don't know how many people are in the room, but thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you a few things today about internships. One of the, as you can see from the definition, these align right with high impact practices. So internships are forms of experiential learning that integrates what you're learning in class with practical application and skills in a professional setting. So this gives the opportunity to gain applied experience and make connections in professional fields that students are considering for career paths, and then also gives employers the opportunity to guide and evaluate talent. My background is on the education side of Adams State, and so I've worked for over 20 years in teacher education and supervised many student teachers and many people who are doing internships for their educational leadership for principal licenses and things like that. And so similarly to an internship, it's the same idea of having that job embedded practice, right? So you're actually learning on the job, and those are one of the biggest bang for your buck that you can get with high impact practices and internships. Another definition is that the primary mission of an internship program is to engage students in planned educationally related work and learning experience that integrate knowledge and theory with, again, practical application and skill development in that professional setting. So we want to make sure that the internships align directly with what they're doing in their education work, and so that the learning experiences can apply back to what they're doing in class. So how are internships HIPs? And this relates right back to what Artemis shared about what we want to have for high impact practices. So the first one is that it requires considerable student effort. And so in internships, there's ongoing guided reflection, there's analysis, critical thinking, and there should be well-developed and carefully assessed student learning outcomes, and then appropriate and challenging work tasks that provide those opportunities for learning transfer from the classroom into the work environment. Also, they help the students build those substantive relationships by placing them in situations that demand interaction with faculty and peers over a substantive amount of time. So structures such as seminars, on-site, online, faculty visits, high quality faculty mentoring of internships is particularly important for effective internships. So that connection back to what they're doing at Adams State is really important. And then thirdly, placing students in contexts in which they have direct contact with people who are different from themselves. And so this is where, students experience organizational and professional cultures that are new to them. So interpersonally, they work day to day with coworkers who are from different ages, races, cultural backgrounds, professional roles. They're in different stages of their career development. And so research has shown that students will increase their multicultural skills and improve their skills getting along with others and their communication skills just by having these experiences with many different people in those internships. And then they also provide students with frequent feedback about their performance. And so high quality internships provide both a supervisor in the workplace and a faculty mentor. And so they both provide guidance, support, feedback throughout that experience. And so internships that provide that extensive feedback are more positively received by students as well, because of that strong mentoring and the components of taking what you learned again and applying it. So the internship supervisors should have an understanding of the relationship between theory and practice, and talk to students about that when they're providing the supervision and the feedback. The second one there is provide opportunities for students to see how what they are learning works in different settings. So again, linking theory and practice and engaging in transfer of learning. And it's noted that this is really complex because you have to get that ongoing feedback and support from the faculty. So deeper understanding of subject matter and concepts, and then how do they apply that into different problems and circumstances in that internship. So that learning transfer, it's just taking that theory to practice. Again, we always want students to be applying what they're learning in a relevant experience. And then finally, it helps students gain a better understanding of themselves in relation to others. And so they're in more complex social situations in the workplace. And so sometimes what you learn in the classroom, you can't apply if you're just talking through the theory. But once you get into a situation, you have to think through it and think about what might happen in the context of this relationship. And so students then grow in their self-understanding, self-confidence, and then also career choice clarification. So is this really what I want to do, right? They can gain a increase in self-efficacy to say, yeah, this is what I want to do. Or, you know what, I think I'm going to try something different. This isn't exactly where I want to be. But it does help them feel prepared to enter the workforce, grow in their confidence and their skills, and then develop that realistic understanding of how the world of work actually works, and how to work with others in the workplace. So those are kind of the main points of how internships are considered high impact practices, because they do really connect back to what they're learning and being able to apply that.
All right, well, Thank you very much, Holly. That was really helpful, and I hope you'll stay with us for a few more minutes.
Of course.
All right. Thank you. So come on up, Dr. Amy Johnson, and she'll tell us about ASU internships.
Hello, everyone. So my information is going to be a little bit more cut and dry, a little more just numbers based kind of information. Okay, so I have been tasked with organizing the data based off of the existing syllabi that we have been given so far. And this may not be an exhaustive list. I know we are still collecting information from different departments just to make sure we have everything. But this does give an idea of what Adams State offers to our students currently. These internships are also all courses, and many of them are linked to graduation requirements or their capstone courses. As you can see, I've listed them by the different schools. And the purple portion of each bar represents a paid internship. So, and of course the orange is non-paid internships. You can see that there are at this time very few paid opportunities for students. Notice also that we are missing internships in some of the schools. Again, this may be due to lack of submitted syllabi at this point, or some new internships that are just, we have not cataloged yet. I also do want to acknowledge that in the School of Education, it facilitates, of course, student teaching, which is a form of internship. The School of Humanities and Social Sciences has probably the most departments of all of our schools, so it makes sense then that it has the most internships available, and including, of course, including one with pay. Yeah. All right. So if we look more, we can go to the next. Okay, and all my formatting is gone on my slides that I did, so that's awesome. I spent a lot of time and it doesn't look like what I did, so that's okay. All right, so if we look more closely at each of the schools, you can see how internships are broken down into the individual departments. The School of Business, as you can see, has 3 course-related internships, including an internship for their healthcare admin emphasis, as well as an internship specifically for high school students. While the high school internship can vary between 1 and 3 credits, the collegiate internships are both for 3. And the number of required hours is unfortunately not specified in those syllabi, but there is a required form and a contract that students are supposed to fill out as they register. And I looked for it online, I couldn't find it. So I'm assuming some of that information might be covered more in their contract. If we look more closely, I'm so sorry. School of Humanities and Social Sciences has internships for every department. There are 4 in both the Department of History, Anthropology, Philosophy, and Political Science, and in the Psychology Department. There are also internships for both Sociology and Language, Literature, and Media Communication departments.
Let me add a caveat. So this is also based on historical institutional syllabi. That's true. We have the school director here.
Yes. So maybe, yeah, so as I said, this is based on what we have. There could be changes.
Yes.
All right, so Anthropology and Political Science offer internships between 3 and 6 hours. They require 30 hours per credit. And according to the syllabi, all departments except for anthropology require some type of prerequisite. The number of hours required do vary though across the departments within the school. The school, I'm going to try to say this correctly. The School of Kinesiology and Health Science also have several internships. There are 2 for both food studies and kinesiology. And there is 1 for outdoor education and stewardship, but there are none at this that I know of for the public health department. All of these internships are for 3 credits, but vary in the required number of hours, with outdoor education and stewardship requiring 400 hours, which is by far the most of any of the ones we have. All of the food and kinesiology internships do have prerequisites. Kinesiology also has a minimum grade requirement. The School of Visual and Performing Arts has 1 internship in the music department, and it is a 3-credit internship, and it does have both degree requirements and a senior standing requirement. The number of hours for this internship is not specified in the syllabus. The School of Nursing also has a nursing internship, and it is for 6 credits. However, these credits are split with 30 hours devoted to theory and 120 hours devoted to clinical. Prerequisites include all previous level coursework. Again, this is simply just a breakdown of the information we have at this point. And by organizing the data in this manner, we can see where there are gaps in what we offer at Adams State, and then we can better hope to fill those gaps.
All right, well, thank you so much, Amy. Yeah, so that was really quite a journey. So that was based on institutional syllabi that we had, and a lot of them date back to 2013, or so we know that that has changed. That's part of the reason we're undertaking this task. So now I'd like to introduce Ms. Shirley Atencio from Career Services, and here you go.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. What I will be talking about today is how do students at Adams State find their internships? So I do work in the Career Services office, and we see students who mostly do not have an internship through a course. So these are non-credit internships. But the way that most students will find, they can go to their faculty member, they can go to their department. If they're in a program that does have an internship course, then those are the students that will have their internships. But we have many other students on campus who are not in those courses. So to find their internships, they can come to Career Services. We do have a list of employers and industry partners who are looking for students to have internships. We developed an internship pathway that if you can click on that. Okay, so this is just kind of the way that when we get with students, we talk it through with them as to how to go about looking for an internship. So we use the little grizzly bear because that is our mascot. But as he goes through, he does a self-assessment. So we always want the students to have that period of having to, what are my values? What are my interests? What are my skills? And talk to them about those types of things so that when they're looking for their internship, they have an idea, what they're looking for. And it's also helping them to kind of think through their major and what careers they want to be in, what they want to study. And then you go through and after they've kind of narrowed that down, they understand themselves better. Okay, what are the opportunities that are out there and where can I look for them? So they can come to us in Career Services, they can go to their faculty, they can go to their department and talk to them about what they're looking for. And we also have a handshake platform that Title V has funded, the handshake platform for our students. They can use their network, and it's amazing how many students will come and like, what is a network? And I don't have a network and that sort of thing. So you talk them through a little bit like, who do you know? Who do your parents know? Who did you know in high school? Who do you know in your community? So just really trying to kind of flesh out how they can reach out, because so many times we get our jobs because we know someone or we have a connection. And that's something for students to understand. It's like, it's what you know, but it's also a lot of your network and your social capital that you have. So encouraging them to really think through when they're looking for an internship, who can I reach out to? Then the preparation part is looking at their portfolios, their resumes. They can come to Career Services and bring the resume in, and we'll help polish it up. Write a cover letter, practice interview questions, those sorts of things that we can work with them on. And then if they apply and if they get some offers, how do you look at your offer? How do you evaluate that? And we can help them do that. And then, the pathway just goes, you either get an internship or you don't. If you do get your internship, you go on to your internship, and then, you do go through all the steps of hopefully reflecting on what your experience was and how how that contributed to the community, how that contributed to the mission of the organization that you were with. Also, if you didn't, then you can go back and go through the whole process again. But we do have a QR code on the bottom, down the bottom. And if, I don't know if you have your phones with you, but if you scan the QR code, it opens up to other resources that students can find. So they can find how to write a resume, they can find, you know, different things like that. And as it opens up, it's really a lot better. This whole thing is a lot better on the phone. So. Okay. Then we can just move on. Get out of that one. Did you get that?
I think so.
Okay. So at Career Services, like I said, we can go ahead and work with students on the cover letters. One thing that I've talked to students about a lot is trying to set up an informational interview with someone. Because if they don't really have a lead or they don't have a real in with an industry partner, they might be able to go to their website and determine maybe who they want to speak to in that organization and send them an email and ask if they'll meet with them for a few, you know, for 15-20 minutes and just talk about what their day is, their day-to-day. And so we've had a few students who have done that. Okay, we work with them on career exploration, the interest forum. We're setting that up. That's in development right now, trying to figure out how to match the students with the employers. The jobs platform Handshake, we do have Handshake here. The Handshake platform is, if you can click on that one. No. So the Handshake platform is something that is funded right now through Title V. And students, what it does is it shrinks the pool. If you go onto Indeed, that's like worldwide, anybody can be on Indeed. But if you go onto Handshake, it shrinks the pool to college and university students. And that's, employers are recruiting specifically for college and university students. You can go down. So, another thing is they're looking for students who, of course, they're just at the beginning of their careers, so they don't have the experience requirement that other places would have. Students can go on, they can say what they're looking for, and then the employers can recruit them. And it just expands. At Adams State, we're in the valley, so we have this kind of smaller pool of employers. But this will help them, you know, including the Fortune 500, the startup nonprofits and startups. So it's a tool that we have. It's not the be all end all, but it is something that students can go on to. Right now, we have the capacity to email all the students on campus. So we're using Handshake to email them. And if we get a good opportunity as far as an internship, we'll put that on the email and send it out to students. So anyway, we do have that Handshake. So as what Handshake tells us is that employers are looking for specifically college students. Okay. And then, well, so what students don't always know, but we should be able to tell them is that there are these other opportunities if they're not in an internship course. So like in Porter Hall, they have the STEM grant that is paying students for their internships. So like Sarah Noller, she is the contact there, and Ken Marcus. That students can go there, and if they are in a program that is a STEM program, that grant does have money that they can support students. So if the employer doesn't have a way to be able to pay the student, this grant can help to pay for them. So, so that's the STEM grant. We also have the USDA grant that is being, Zena Busser in the business department is heading that up. So students who are in ag, food studies, any kind of natural resources major, can apply for scholarships and for internships, paid internships through that. We also have the Title V, which is now paying students for the teen internship. There were 22 students last semester that did an internship with the city of Alamosa. And the students were paid up to $600 each to do it. And it was kind of where they worked with the city of Alamosa on a certain problem or issue that the city wanted them to work on, and then they presented it to the city, and there were different teams. So we're doing another one this semester with the bank, with the local bank. And then, we talked to them about using their social networks that I talked about earlier. And then they can also, we have employers who reach out to us looking for students, and then students also can do that independently, find their own internships. So what we try to do a lot of is send out, like I know I've sent some to you, Beth, but some different internships that come through the career services. So these are the ways that students right now can find internships at out of state. We know that many of our students, if they're not connected to a program that has an internship course, really don't know sometimes how to go about looking for an internship. So trying to make it so that students, all students know about internships and can get an internship.
Okay, thank you. Right. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. This is our HIP team lead. You can see the different categories. So at this point, we've had all of the seminars except for first year experience and seminar, which will be next week. But I'd like to just say welcome to Dr. Holly Porter and Dr. Amy Johnson for joining our team this semester. And thank you, Ms. Shirley Atencio, for your great work and for your services. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.